Welcome to the Bourbon Van. I'm Phil.
I'm Julie. We're on the lookout for gators.
Welcome to sunny Charleston, South Carolina. This is really the first leg of our actual 2025 road trip. We've been racing all over the place, but we're finally settled in somewhere for a little while. Oddly, in front of this little pond, and there's a sign over here that says, "Don't feed the alligators." I suspect they're not kidding about that.
I suspect that they're not.
And the other weird thing about being here in Charleston is that even though it's sunny, it is not warm right now, and we're expecting 2 to 3 days of snowfall while we're here. So you may see this same location in the next video next week, except it'll have a blanket of snow behind us. We'll see if it turns out or not, but regardless, we are here for the next several days and excited to be here. It's a beautiful location here in Mount Pleasant, just outside of Charleston, South Carolina. Well, it is 5-Sip Friday once again, and it's our first 5-Sip Friday that's been sent to us by one of our channel supporters. Every single year we kick off the same way. This is a sample from our friend, the Chi-Town Sampler.
Thanks, Chi-Town Sampler.
If it is your first time joining us for 5-Sip Friday, we nose the glass, take 5 sips, try and figure out what in the heck we're drinking, say whether or not we like it, and ultimately it will be revealed. And I almost don't care today. I'm just gonna have a nice time drinking whiskey, listening to the birds making a racket, keeping an eye out for gators. Never know what's gonna happen on 5-Sip Friday.
I was just gonna say, it's so beautiful for the kickoff of 5-Sip. I know we've done 2 because we've had some Patreon meetups before, so we've had some really fun group 5-Sips, but this is the first one, just you and me.
And it's about time.
Oh, it's so beautiful. I can't believe it's gonna snow. This backdrop is spectacular. Let's nose the glass.
Let's get on the nose.
Light, a little bit of honey, a little bit of, oh gosh.
Some fruit for sure.
On the nose, I'm thinking like an American whiskey.
Yeah, this doesn't smell like bourbon or rye whiskey to me.
No, and I was digging in there because I was like, gosh, it could almost be, some sort of scotch or something on the nose, but I get none of that tire fire, none of that smoky peat, smokiness, anything.
No, there's no peat here or anything like that. I am thinking off the nose though, be surprised if this is a bourbon or a rye. What do you say? You want to start the weekend?
Let's start the weekend.
Cheers.
Nope. The flavor does have a little bit of scotch note to it.
It's not the sweetest whiskey. This one has, I don't want to say an earthiness to it, almost a savory note to it.
Yes, agreed. And it was so, it wasn't different than the nose. The nose wasn't really giving anything away. The nose was very subtle, very pleasant. I don't think I was gonna think this tasted like this, but I do like it. It just was a little bit of shock on that first sip.
Yeah, not a ton to report just yet. Let's get on to sip number 2. What do you say?
Definitely. It does have a little bit of a peppery note. I love when you said it was earthy. It does taste earthy.
Yeah, it's almost like a stone fruit, maybe something like a real gentle hint of apricot, but almost like that apricot fell off the tree and was rubbed into the dirt before you took a bite of it. Very odd that way. Not particularly juicy. The honey, like you said earlier, probably the primary flavor note that I've got here. Not getting a ton of woody notes, not getting a ton of caramel, butterscotch, anything like that.
No.
Honey, touch of vanilla, a little bit of fruit.
Ooh, and earthy.
And earthy. And it's a little dry. There's a wine-ish presence here.
Yeah, I was gonna say, it almost has a little bite to it. Like the roof of my palate feels like it needs to be scraped or something. Like it is like,
you need a palate scraping?
Yeah, it's just like, it's very dry.
I'm just realizing it's so bright behind us that the camera is making us look a little bit dark here. I'm gonna give it a tap and see if it improves things. I've made it so much worse. Let's give that a try.
Oh, you don't care about us. You care about that blue water.
You know what? Let's just keep the scenery on there and let's have sip number 3.
That water is spectacular. For Rusty's purposes, I hope a gator just like dive bombs out like a dolphin.
You think Russ would appreciate that?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a local boy.
Yeah, he's always looking out for animals in our videos.
Yeah, he's keeping an eye out. Yeah.
What is happening with his hair?
Looks good to me.
Okay.
I mean, it's got a mind of its own.
Shoot, I've wasted that sip, Phil. I totally wasted it. I was like so distracted. All I see is that beautiful blue water. It's blue sky. It hasn't been sunny that much. I feel like energized that we're on the road again, and I wasted that sip.
Look, we're just having a good time. Let's have sip number 4.
Yeah. A little peachy apricot. So you already said apricot, so I didn't want to say it again. Now I did. But I did get a little peach, a little bit of cream, still that earthy, like dirt flavor, which I know never sounds great, but it evokes a feeling, and that's kind of what I'm tasting.
There's black pepper spice here now, a little bit spicier on that sip. I don't know. It's a little bit odd. It's a little bit unexpected, and it's a little bit of a bite, like you said, but definitely not something that's wowing me right here. I'm not super excited about this whiskey on sip number 4.
I'm trying to piece together what this is. It's a little bit tricky, this one.
Sip number 5. Let's just do this.
It hasn't changed. Like that first sip is pretty much what you're getting the entire time. A hint of that pepper. It is very earthy. There is that stone fruit, that apricot kind of note there. There's a little bit of funk to it that makes me think it could be a scotch maybe, but it is a barely scotch.
Yeah, I think I've got a clue as to what this might be, I'm at least on the road a little bit. I don't think I'm gonna get too close today, but I have a thought and I'm ready to go if you're ready to go.
So I'm gonna go 84 proof.
Okay.
Doesn't taste proofy at all.
No.
I think it's gonna be a scotch. There's just like a hint of that flavor profile in there. I mean, non-peated for sure. Gosh, if it's peated, that'd be crazy. But non-peated for sure. I'm gonna go like a Bruichladdich because I don't really know that many scotches, but it's not that good because I've had Bruichladdich before and it doesn't taste like this. But I'm picking a brand this year.
I like what you said. Reminiscent of Bruichladdich, but not quite as good. And I don't disagree with that at all. I'm thinking Campbellton Scotch here. There's no peat presence, not really. There's definitely no smoke presence at all. I'm thinking it's a single malt. I don't think it's an American single malt because the American single malts that we've tried have more character than this. They have a bigger flavor profile. If I had to guess, I would say that this is probably finished in some sort of wine because there's a dryness that follows everything, and there's really no tannins there. There's not, I don't know really what's giving me that wine vibe. Maybe it's just the dryness on the sip. So I'm gonna say, what do I need to do yet? Proof? Yeah. Let's say Campbellton Scotch 92 because of the bite. I'm gonna go 92 proof.
Love it.
And I'm gonna say Campbellton Scotch. I'm gonna say non-peated, non-smoked, and might be wrong, but let's get to it now. Julie has the answer key on her phone.
Wrong pocket. You did great. We did fair. I'm gonna go with that.
We did fair.
It is a Starward single malt Australian whiskey.
Okay.
So fair.
All right.
82 proof. So I was 2 proof points off.
Wow, I was way off.
Non-chill filtered, but this is aged in both Apera, which is an Australian sherry, and red wine cask, which you did say red wine. So not right.
Not right. You were very close on proof.
Yeah.
We were right that it was not American, I guess.
Yeah, I was not thinking about going to a different country, but that makes sense because it didn't really taste like scotch at all. I just wasn't sure what it tasted like.
No, to be completely honest, all we really knew about this one is that on our palates, it struck us as a touch bland.
Yes.
And so that is the takeaway for us on this one, and that's why we like to call these the most honest blind reviews you'll ever see, because that was actually very surprising. I never would have guessed Australian single malt.
No, I wasn't even thinking that continent.
What? Well, let us know. What do you think of Starward if you've tried it? And we've had a couple of them that we've definitely liked.
Yeah.
So this one just was not our cup of tea. But let us know what you think of Starward and what you think of South Carolina, huh? Is this beautiful or what?
I love it. I'm having a great time.
All right, well, stay safe. Watch out for gators and from wherever we are.
To wherever you are.
Cheers.
Cheers. I mean, it was fine.
It was fine.
Calling all hitchhikers, hop-ons, backseat drivers, and navigators. The Bourbon van is hitting the road from coast to coast in 2025, and we want you to come along for the ride. Join our Patreon community for as little as $3 a month to make sure you never miss a meetup, single barrel selection, or road trip adventure.